Hello, everyone. It's Shane Conto, your Wasteland reviewer, and welcome to the Wasteland Retrospective here on the SPDM Crew Podcasting Network. This is my weekly show where my guests and I each pick a film related in some shape or form, and hopefully by the end of this episode, you'll have two films to go check out. And joining me, it's the first episode of the month, so that means my wife Jess is here. Jess, thank you so much for coming on.
You're welcome.
I don't know what I did that was funny, but Jess is laughing.
I don't know.
It might have to do with the fact that we are going to be talking about a double dose of Shane Black buddy action flicks. We're going to be going back to Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, which is celebrating 20 years, which is wild.
Don't do this to me.
And then we're going to be talking about Lethal Weapon. But let's get started with Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, which Shane Black not only wrote but also directed. And this film focuses on after being mistaken for an actor, a New York thief is sent to Hollywood to train under a private eye for a potential movie role, but the duo were thrown together with a struggling actress into a murder mystery. And this film is famous for kind of being that role that brought Robert Downey Jr. back as he plays Harry Lockhart. And the private investigator he gets teamed up with is Gay Perry, played by Val Kilmer. And Michelle Moynihan as Harmony Faith Lane. But Jess, what are your general thoughts here on Kiss Kiss Bang Bang?
I was not surprised at all when you told me that this role was basically written for Robert Downey Jr.
Well, it's one of
I
those.
don't know that it was for sure, but if it wasn't, that was a hell of a coincidence.
Well, because Shane Black is friends with Robert Downey Jr., and I'm not surprised that he gave his friend a shot back into things. But no, you have Harry, who basically feels like the perfect role.
He's failing. He's failing upwards.
Yes,
the whole movie.
As many of similar to like the Nice Guys, also from Shane Black, it is falling upwards and figuring things out. And I think Robert Downey Jr. is fantastic here. He gets to do all the narration because, as you find out, this film is a framed narrative of a video that he's making explaining everything that's happened. And it's very meta as he's playing around with storytelling conventions and stuff like that as he's doing the narration. But, Robert Downey Jr. is just that charismatic that he could get away with being so smug about it.
And as part of his character, I mean, he gets his ass kicked the entire film, basically.
Yes.
He's pretty much wounded the whole time.
Yes, he is, and he unexpectedly loses a finger to an unfortunate slamming of the door incident. So watch your fingers if somebody's going to slam a door near you.
Just don't put your finger in a door, damn.
Yes.
Just don't do it.
Like, stick your foot out a little bit if you're going to try to stop the door.
Use a firm sole of your shoe. Don't put squishy bits in there.
Yes. That is the moral of the story.
Barefoot,
and
don't do that either.
Yes, and this is a cautionary tale of watch out for your fingers. But Robert Downey Jr. is very funny. He's very charming. I buy into this dynamic that he has with Michelle Moynihan here, and just the back and forth between him and Val Kilmer, because Harry's doesn't really know what the hell he's doing, and Harry's just not about dealing with his crap.
Kind of outsiders too. I mean, they're not mingling and bullshitting with everybody in the scene where we meet them. Meet Val Kilmer for the first time.
And Robert Downey Jr.'s character has some wild moments.
Great one-liners.
Yes, he has plenty of great one-liners, and he has some great moments, including trying to play Russian roulette with somebody and getting, I guess, lucky or unlucky, depending on your framing of this, but spins it, lands it, shoots the guy in the head, and you're just like, oh man.
Argument about math.
And yes, Harry's not very, very good with math. You have
relatable
this kind of situation where Shane Black really focuses on awkward
and Christmas
action. Yes. It is also set around Christmas. Yes.
Yeah. So he gets caught. He's robbing a toy store for his nephew.
Yes, because this is a Shane Black movie. It isn't like, this is one of those kinds of situations where Robert Downey Jr. is just so unbelievably charismatic, and then you have Val Kilmer, who was a fantastic actor. Obviously, his ego and his intensity got him in some trouble in a lot of his films, and he clashed with a lot of people.
I feel like he probably had to put that aside for this one. I mean, he
Well,
gets slapped around a lot.
I think this was a
It
fun
is
role
fun.
for him,
Okay.
and he definitely leans into it. And this film has that vibe of 2005 where like a running joke is people being uncomfortable about gay men. Um
What an era the aughts were.
and that's a running gag, but Gay Perry's the one, well, they call him Gay Perry.
There's no
And
other Perry, but
no.
it's fine, I guess.
And
Happy Pride Month.
yeah, as we're recording this on June 1st. This is has such a great dynamic between the two of them, and Michelle Moynihan is extremely charismatic, and I'm a little surprised that she
Mhm.
didn't like get bigger
And she's
as an
smart.
actor.
And she's shameless, which we love. We love that. We love a strong woman.
Yes, and she has a great dynamic with Robert Downey Jr. in this.
Well, she holds all the power in that one too. Like he's just kind of
Because like I know she most recently was just on the White Lotus, and in that show Bad Monkey, but like she hasn't been in a ton of high profile stuff, but like she's so electric in this, and the three of them have a lot of charisma, and it goes a long way making this film work the way that it does. And you have the likes of like Corbin Burnson popping up, or Larry Miller, some you know pretty recognizable character actors. And then you have the mystery, which honestly has tons of twists and turns
mm-hmm.
and some unexpected
You're
revelations.
figuring it out with him.
Indeed. And there's moments where it's just like it doesn't work out nicely. And you expect a lot of films to like give you some kind of closure with everything that's going to happen in the film, and this film chooses not to, and that's a very Shane Black kind of approach to it because it subverts those kinds of expectations. But this film's a lot of fun. It's shocking action and violence because there's so
Yeah.
many like the randomness of what winds up happening, and especially in the climax, how Harry's able to take out everybody is so unexpected and ridiculous.
Honestly, his strengths, his max stats are Constitution and luck.
Yep.
Just pure chutzpah the whole time.
Yep. There's a lot of luck going on here.
Even the opening scene with the party, like he
Mhm.
gets his ass kicked, and the
Yep.
first thing he says is, "One of these days, I'm gonna learn how to fight." Probably my favorite moment in the movie.
He has a lot of he has such a great sense of humor, and this movie was perfectly cast. And if I'm not mistaken, like Shane Black didn't direct a whole lot of movies up to this point, and this was literally his directorial debut, which he's only directed 4 films, and the next one was Iron Man 3.
Also, a Christmas movie,
Yes. And then The Nice Guys,
not a Christmas movie.
and then The Predator, which was trash.
I didn't see that one, but I'm assuming the Predator does not celebrate Christmas.
Not from my understanding of their culture. I don't
That's
think
fair.
they believe
Wow.
in Jesus.
Well, look, we won't get into this right now, but look up the Catholic Church's ruling on aliens and extraterrestrials
There
and
you
whether
go.
or not they can be baptized.
There you go. I don't think the Predator would do that willingly. But
No, that's the whole shtick with baptism, right? You have to want it.
and then it's just you
Unless you're
getting
a baby.
dunked in water. But and this film just has plenty of twists and turns, has some shocking moments, has really funny moments, and just a really great cast. And I'm not surprised over the past 20 years this has gotten such a big cult following.
Oh yeah, I'm not surprised either. This is 1000% the movie that I would think would.
Because like looking at this almost came out on my birthday. This came out November 11th, 2005.
Wow,
Um,
what a tiny little 13, almost 14-year-old baby you were.
this made almost $16 million worldwide on $15 million budget. It only made $4 million in the United States, which
Oh.
is really sad.
Well, it's a cult classic now, so I guess Shane Black is vindicated for this one.
Yep. And then it made a crap ton of money with Iron Man 3. And then the Nice Guys didn't make any money either,
Yeah,
which
but
is
we
why we
like
haven't
that one.
gotten a second one.
Liked it. I liked it.
I'm a big fan of Shane Black and his sense of humor, and he really understands how to write these types of films, these buddy thriller investigations, like neo-noirish kinds of films. Because like this very much is a neo-noir in many ways,
Mm-hmm.
because you have that femme fatale Michelle Moynihan type character who's very mysterious, and you have this sense of mystery, but obviously this is very satirical and really setting up things. Like a dude gets shot thinking he's getting shot by a penis. Because Gay Perry has a crotch gun. Because usually men are
Yeah,
too homophobic
he
to
baits him in with that,
check
yeah.
his crotch. Yep.
Well, look, it worked out there
It did work out. It was a good
in
strategy.
that
It
one specific instance.
was a bold move, Cotton. Let's see how this pays off.
Right?
But Jess, do you have anything else to add about Kiss Kiss Bang Bang?
No, I love a plucky protagonist, as I myself am often out of my element.
There you go.
Oh, I did think it's funny that he was mistaken for an actor. Isn't the shtick usually that actors are mistaken for other people?
Well, and like that scene where he gets mistaken for an actor is hilarious because the scene in audition he walks in on literally is the situation that he just had watching his partner die. So like he's not acting and he's just getting really emotional and they like really buy into it. And then, the revelation about the job that they were offering him, he was,
Yeah,
just a he was just a ploy. He was
patsy.
he was a contract negotiation tool to try to get a bigger actor, but it's okay. I think
Mm,
Robert Downey Jr. turned
Col-
out okay.
Colin Farrell, right? Which is
It was
so
cool.
of the time. As soon as they said that, I laughed out loud.
Because Colin Farrell was like
This is phone booth era.
young and hot and them wanting to throw he was just a Minority Report and stuff like that.
Phone booth.
And when did Phone Booth
When
come
did
out?
phone booth come out?
This probably was after Phone Booth. Yeah, Phone Booth seems like early
Yeah.
aughts.
Let me see. 2002.
Yes, so this is post Phone Booth Minority Report where Colin Farrell was real hot, and then
I love
Alexander and Daredevil didn't really do him too many
I
favors.
love phone booth for his wildly inconsistent
Accent,
accent. It's all over the
yes.
place. Anyway,
I'd
that's
much rather hear Colin Farrell
yeah, just let him
um
be Irish. Who cares?
being Irish or being in Horrible Bosses.
Be sharp. Put me with
Quote me with it. But our other film, let's turn it back another 18 years before that. Back in 1987, we have Lethal Weapon. And this film is directed by legendary filmmaker Richard Donner, who directed all four Lethal Weapon films, The Omen, The Goonies, and the original Superman. So, and written by Shane Black, the music written by Eric Clapton. And if you
yeah.
are a fan of Eric Clapton and his music, the second the guitar starts playing, you're like, that's Clapton right there. I even
It's
recognize that as a kid. So,
he gets real snazzy with it.
yes, this is a really cool score and cool vibe. Yeah, very
A little,
soulful, bluesy guitar
a
going.
little Seinfeld adjacent, but not quite.
This is two newly paired cops who are complete opposites must put aside their differences in order to catch a gang of drug smugglers. But what it leaves out is that we have a lethal weapon, a man on the edge. Is he suicidal? It's Mel Gibson. And we have a man who's just too old for this shit, and it's Danny
He was
Glover.
gonna retire. He was 2 weeks out from
I,
retirement or whatever.
which is wild that he was going to retire in this, and then
50 or whatever. It's so that really digs the millennial life in.
well, and then he still is going in the fourth movie, which is at least 10 years after this. So still didn't retire.
Reignited his love for getting his ass kicked continuously.
But this is like the prototype for a buddy cop movie. And I will argue this is the greatest buddy cop movie ever. And Lethal Weapon is just an absolute delight. It has great action, it's thrilling. But Jess, what are your thoughts?
It is. I mean, if you can get past, it's hilarious once you get past the whole suicidal part with Mel Gibson.
Well, that's the thing, because this film is heavy. Like,
It starts
it's
heavy.
heavy.
Like, you don't think it's gonna. I feel like I did not think it was gonna start that way because I was just like, haha, buddy cop, they're gonna go kick some ass. Yeah, kick, punch, shoot stuff. I'm like, wow, this is a little dark. He's like literally trying to
the act
off himself
the
in
acting
this.
that Mel
Wow.
Gibson does in that scene
I feel
when
like
he has his gun in his mouth in his trailer.
I feel like he has to have some kind of mental illness issue. I mean, there's reasons for that, but anyway, I feel like you have to tap into that somewhere for that scene because, like, he's sad. It's sad.
It's a powerful scene, and it brings a lot of weight and emotion to this that sets us apart from just being some silly buddy cop movie.
I was mostly just upset he kept the dog in the trailer. Like, come on, buddy, let that poor dog out. I mean, don't
There's
do
ways
it.
out of the trailer for the dog.
Oh, I couldn't do that.
Yeah. They utilize that a lot more in Lethal Weapon too.
Love you,
That
Mac.
that he has like a trap door and stuff like that in the trailer. But
Can the dog operate it?
it was made so that the dog could get out.
Oh, he just loves movies with dogs that can operate human tools, doesn't he?
Yes, as in the Mad Max
Yeah,
2 of the Road
the
Warrior.
bone shotgun.
But you have these moments towards the beginning of the film, like you have like the Christmas tree um scene
Oh yeah, oops,
where
another Christmas movie.
they're like, what, we'll set for 100. He's like, okay, and he starts taking out, like, I got $76, and his Australian accent's coming through. And then he just goes like unhinged, taking out, doing like Three Stooges stuff. And he's like, this is a real badge, and this is a real effing gun.
He just basically starts the mad dog act right away.
Yes. Which Mel Gibson is absolutely perfect in this movie, and it might be because he's slightly insane, maybe fully insane, but it just really works that he sells this character, Martin Riggs, so perfectly, and mullet and all.
Yeah, he's a dude that would love some Wellbutrin XR.
And Danny Glover, who I wouldn't say Danny Glover's like an amazing actor, but like when you find like the right role for him, like him as Roger Murtaugh is just so perfect in this. I love his family.
He's in the Royal Tenenbaums too, right?
Yes.
I love him in that too. He's such an understated,
Yep.
quiet guy.
And understated gentleman
Yeah,
to go
he
toe
really
to
is.
go toe to
He's so
toe with
sweet. He's very sweet.
shitbag Royal
I mean,
Tenenbaums.
he's sweet in this one too, towards like his family and stuff. You can tell he
Yes.
really loves the hell out of them. We love
And
that.
yeah, I love his family because
Oh
I've
yeah,
been
they're
watching
great.
Lethal Weapon movies since I was a kid. I've watched all four of these so many times. And like you get to see them grow. And he has his teenage daughter who's totally has the hots for Martin Riggs, who is a widower, and tragically, and that's a wild plot twist that you find out in the second one what really happened to his wife.
And also,
Goddamn South
we
Africans.
love a family that can not only dish it but take it. They give everybody shit and take it from everyone.
It's like
We love that. They're a very loving family.
there's so many moments because like Murtaugh has this full beard that's graying at the beginning and they all give him a bunch of crap, and then he shaves the beard off and has that like perfect Danny Glover mustache, and then they're like, you looked younger with the beard. That's the word. It's like, damn.
We're so mean.
I like I feel bad. Well, I want to make a quick side comment about the police psychologist, Mary Ellen Trainor's character, because they are merciless to her throughout
Yeah.
all four of these
Why
movies.
even have her on staff if you're like, yeah, I'm not gonna listen
Well,
to
I think
you?
they legally have to.
Oh.
Yeah. I think it's like an internal affairs thing. Like you have to have that kind
What?
of stuff. Well, because like
She's a good clinician.
well, and what's sad is like especially Riggs and Murtaugh, especially Riggs, are terrible to her throughout the whole rest of this
Oh.
franchise. And she's like just slowly losing it throughout these movies. But
Look, I don't blame her.
I love the duo here. They're just a match made in heaven. There's so many great memorable moments. Like this channels a lot of like, especially with Riggs, it channels a lot of dirty Harry moments. Like the guy who wants to kill himself and jump off the building, and he handcuffs him to him. And he's like, and Riggs is shoot first and kill and ask questions later.
Oh yeah.
And Murtaugh's like, how about the next time we get through a whole day without you killing somebody?
I do love. I mean, it's Lethal Weapon, Shane, not inert
Well, he
weapon.
is a lethal weapon because of his martial arts skills, which he then gets to
Which is
utilize.
so kind of funny to me because of all the actors I associate with martial arts skills, Mel Gibson probably not number one in my mind.
Not gonna lie, he does a great triangle choke at the end of the movie, though. When this movie is so 80s. How 80s is it, Jess? It ends with two men fighting it out, fist to fist,
Put the
with
weapons down,
with
mano y
yeah,
mano.
drops their weapons. This is a police officer and like number one henchman of a drug cartel. Just drop weapons and start beating the shit out of each other. Not just beating the shit out of each other, but on the front lawn of a home while the hydrant's busted and water's going everywhere. They're fighting in the water and and what makes it even more crazy is that it's Gary Busey,
It's a lot,
uh,
Mr. Joshua.
Mr. Joshua.
There's
Which
a lot going on.
yes,
There's
that climax is crazy, and then you have the slow moment, Die Hard moment, where he like steals the gun and they shoot him in slow motion. Mitchell Ryan as the general. Like besides the third one, I really like the villains in these Lethal Weapon movies.
oh man, there's so many iconic
Yeah.
lines. How could you forget the diplomatic community?
Yes, the South African
Also, I've been thinking of Sing South Africa. Love
yes.
that exchange.
We might have to do Lethal Weapons at another
They
point.
are a lot of fun.
You even have like Tom Atkins, who's famous for a bunch of John Carpenter movies like The Fog, and also he was in Season of the Witch, the third Halloween film. Who's this Michael Hunsaker, who's the guy that like brings Murtaugh into this whole thing. He's like, this movie starts off with like naked women, sex workers, pornography,
Yeah,
drug drug
which I
runners,
always forget.
like Black Ops Special Forces guys from Vietnam, because let's not forget Vietnam only ended like 12 years before this movie.
Oh yeah, I remember thinking that too. That dates this a little bit because like we just saw a couple guys wearing Vietnam veteran hats, and they're like my grandpa's age. Like, oh no, time is passing.
Well, yeah, and this film
That's funny.
has so many great moments. And then like you have that desert shootout, and then the whole climax of the film, and Murtaugh has his whole like super sharpshooter shot where like cranks his neck and then just which he domes some dudes multiple times in this franchise doing that, which is fantastic.
Yeah, I mean they explain it.
Yeah.
Explained away by being a green beret or whatever.
Well, and Riggs is just like straight up running down the highway, chasing after Gary Busey.
So like, no offense to Riggs, but what else is he really doing right now? Drinking in his trailer and practicing.
Well, that's the thing. And they leave it like, is Riggs really insane? Is he just playing to get on stuff like that? Like, I feel like the audience knows that he
Yeah,
legitimately is disturbed.
and the psychiatrist who's
Y-
on staff
Yes.
knows.
But the thing is, like, he does such a great job, and Mel Gibson sells these moments so well of like him tricking other people
Mhm.
into questioning if
That's what
he's
makes me
really
think Mel
insane.
Gibson has to be insane, along with other evidence. But like, he's getting a little old too low.
But this movie, like, I've watched this movie so many times. Lethal Weapon
I
is
have too
just,
because you watch it a lot now too, and I feel like you're like, what am I gonna say? No, I'm not gonna finish watching it with you.
I love Lethal Weapon. I've been watching this since I was a kid.
Yeah, my
So
mom didn't really. My mom wasn't too big on
my mom is a
R-rated
super
movies.
big action movie fan. So, I watched this and True Lies and Die Hard. I owned all the Die Hard movies by the time I was like 12.
I will
So
say, getting to experience these as an adult was delightful. Like, I didn't see Jurassic Park till I was an adult, and I thought it was a good experience.
Jurassic Park is a perfect movie.
Oh, it's great.
And Lethal Weapon is like the perfect
Buddy cop
buddy cop movie.
action.
And there's definitely moments where it's just like, what did they say? And
Yeah, I mean, it's aged.
yeah. But like I love this franchise too because they find ways to add more characters, expand upon it. Hey, we didn't even get Joe Pesci yet as Leo Getz. If you need something, Leo Getz.
I've come to appreciate Joe Pesci.
Okay, okay,
I mean, Leo.
okay. Well,
He would love
Murtaugh and
some.
Riggs did not appreciate
He
it
would
until
love
like the
some
last
Adderall.
movie. But Jess, I guess, do you have any other thoughts on Lethal Weapon?
No, as Bandit Hila says, it was the 80s, man.
This is as 80s as it
Peak
gets.
80s.
When you have Arnold and Stallone and Bruce Willis with Die Hard and Lethal Weapon, the 80s were a great time for action. Like, this is the thing, like films like the Mission Impossible franchise, Mad Max, and John Wick, like there's like incredible action in them. These movies stand the test of time because they have some exciting moments and for the time some really cool action, but it's really the characters
Mm-hmm.
and that kind of stuff that really makes it stand out. And you know, if I needed two cops to take care of business, I'm going to Riggs and Murtaugh. I just need to make sure that the city has a very large budget because they will destroy so many things because that's their MO. And I love that moment in the fourth one where they get promoted because they can't be on the streets anymore because they're costing the city too much money.
Yep.
And it's like, Captain, Captain, Captain. But those are our thoughts on Kiss Kiss Bang Bang and Lethal Weapon. Shane Black, you keep making those buddy action flicks and don't make anything else. We'll just keep taking
That's it.
those. We love the lane that you're in.
Stay with what you got.
I would also like to think that Fox was the one that, or Disney, whoever released it, was the one that ruined the Predator. That was just a bad movie. I made me sad. But thank you all for listening. Next month, Jess and I are going to be doing the original Godzilla and the 2014 Godzilla.
Oh, I forgot what I picked already.
Yep. And next week, Mike and I are going to be doing a double dose of the Coen brothers. It's The Big Lebowski and Raising Arizona.
What a pair.
Yep. And we'll see if Mike liked The Big Lebowski this time because that's one of the reasons why he picked it is because he didn't like it. And I'm going to quote the whole entire movie. So be prepared. But make sure to like, comment, and share on this episode. What are some of your favorite buddy cop stories and films and some of your favorite characters from action movies? And make sure to follow or subscribe wherever you listen to your podcast because there's plenty of different kinds of content here on the SPM crew, almost so much that I'm having trouble keeping up with all of it. But there's a nice wide range of different things, including all 5 of my movie podcasts. So enjoy. And if you like our logo, make sure to check out High Flyer Creative for all your digital marketing needs. But most importantly, thank you as always for tuning in and supporting the Wasteland Retrospective here on the SPM Crew Podcasting Network.
Did you know Boo has 72% on Rotten Tomatoes? That's way higher than I thought.
It's a good movie.
Yeah,
and it's a lean movie. That movie is like 80 minutes. And maybe we'll do phone booth at some point. I think it's in Jess's mind. So, but bye everyone.